think the key to life is communication. Communication is how we build and foster relationships, get work done, and connect with the world around us. I've spent a fair amount of time communicating with the world around me, talking to my friends, planting a tree, listening to my professors, but nothing compared to when I studied abroad. I studied abroad in Ecuador. I flew down to Quito, where I spent a month, and then spent another 3 months in the Galapagos Islands. Ecuador is a great place for American travelers. They use the US dollar as their currency. The electrical outlets are the same, but there's one major difference. The official language of Ecuador is Spanish, and before I went, I didn't speak any Spanish. This is my host mom from Quito, Ana Lucia. She's a really sweet lady, very kind, always made sure I had a full belly. So many people in Ecuador do speak English, but Ana did not. She picked me up from the airport at midnight, and there was another girl who I was staying with, and she spoke fluent Spanish, so when she picked us up, the two of them were jabbering away. I was just sitting in the back of the car, just saying, "See," whenever they looked at me. It was so frustrating to want to tell them something or to want to ask for something, and I wondered if this is how toddlers felt, and that's why they cried all the time. So within my first 24 hours in Ecuador, I decided that I was going to learn Spanish. So every night after dinner, I would sit at the table with Ana with my little Spanish to English dictionary, and we would talk over a cup of tea. Ana is in her upper 60s and couldn't remember much English. The only words she really could remember were food, car, and her favorite, washing machine. She loves the word washing machine. She still emails me all the time, washing machine. Sometimes we'd even be in the car, we'd be driving. Hablamos, washing machine. She loved it. Anyway, my Spanish drastically improved within that first month in Quito. I went from being able to only say, "Yo no hablo español" and "Donde está el baño" to being able to tell her what I did that day or ask her what she did that day. So I left Ecuador with a new mode of communication, the Spanish language. However, being abroad allowed me to think about communication in a way that I had not before. So since the start of the 21st century, there have been many new ways of communication. Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, texting, but I have a question. Are we actually communicating? Because I don't know if we are. We send messages nonstop. "Hey, want to get lunch?" Or, "You'll never guess what happened to me during class." Or, of course, "Are you going out tonight?" We ask each other basic questions, send emojis to convey emotion. I know people who even text each other when they're in the same room, alone. Communication. Now, it comes from the French communication, from the Latin verb communicare, to share. The imparting or exchanging of information or news, the successful conveying of ideas and feelings, means of connection between people or places. However, my personal definition of communication is as follows: sharing your heart, mind, and soul with another living being. And I do think that via social media platforms we fulfill some of these definitions. We definitely impart information via text, Snap, or Instagram, but I don't know if we're really communicating. We're telling people information about ourselves and what we're doing through our tweets. We're telling our friends we got into grad school. We're showing our family how much we love college. We're connecting our friends to Europe every time we Instagram a picture of ourselves in front of a museum with a bottle of wine. Hashtag study abroad. Hashtag blast. Hashtag 18 is the new 21. Hashtag, you know. However, I don't think we're accurately communicating our feelings and ideas when we spend so much time in front of screens. I have dozens of friends who are non-stop social media users. They narrate their lives through Twitter, are non-stop texters, always have a Snapchat story, and would never be caught dead without their phones. They have tons of followers who they've never met who regularly comment, like, and message their pictures and posts. I would like to pose a question. Are they forming real bonds? Because I don't know if they are. I am not innocent. Have you ever said the phrase, "I'm going to go on Facebook and see who they are"?
Yeah.
I say this all the time. I'm guilty of Facebook stalking, I'm guilty of Instagram stalking, I'm guilty of Twitter stalking. I've asked questions such as, "Is it okay to friend your Tinder date on Facebook?" Or, "Hey, what's the Wi-Fi password in here?" And should I use the Ludwig or Mayfair filter on this Instagram picture? I feel like there's something wrong with me when I don't get a certain amount of likes on a picture and reject it when I follow someone and they don't follow me back. However, after living on the Galapagos Islands for 3 months with minimal internet connection, I realized something. Norms aren't given, they're created. When I was abroad, I rarely carried my phone around with me or had access to Wi-Fi. None of us did. This meant that we didn't have cell phones at the dinner table or during our daily activities. In fact, one of my favorite things to do was to swim 15 minutes out into the ocean to the buoys where the boats would dock. We would pull ourselves up onto the empty ones and just talk. And that was my favorite form of communication. With the sun on our backs, the warm breeze, and the gently swaying buoys, I had many a conversation about philosophy, politics, what our aspirations are, and simply how we felt that day. And this was our new normal. It was normal not to have your cell phone at the dinner table. It was normal to play cards instead of games on an electronic device. Now, I understand that not every daily conversation will discuss topics such as important qualities in the future leader of America or the adverse effects of climate change. However, it was a nice change from, oh my God, what even happened last night? I was so wrong. I mean, don't worry, we are college students, so those conversations might have happened too. But during those cell phone-less dinner conversations and long swims, I felt so connected to my peers, the earth, and life around me. I felt fulfilled because people cared what I thought and I cared about what they thought, even if we had differing opinions. We communicated in a real and organic fashion, and I felt as if that emptiness or hollowness that we all feel sometimes was gone. I think that we're slowly starting to realize how shallowly we get to know our peers through social media. Has anyone here ever heard of a Finstagram? Yeah? I recently read an article about them online. Popular in high school, Finstagram stands for fake Instagram. We all know the rules of Instagram. You can only post once a day, have a funny caption, and show everyone who follows you how picture perfect your life is. The more followers you have, the more likes you get, and the more validated you get to feel, especially if you don't follow that many people back. I don't know anyone with a Finstagram, but the basic theory is this. You have 2 Instagram accounts. One is public, it's your highlight reel. Your pictures show how cool your life is. A candid shot of you sipping a drink out of a coconut on an island one day. You post a selfie that shows off your big brown eyes with the hashtag no filter the next day. The next day, you post a picture from your service trip with a hashtag selfless because you're all about hashtag social justice and hashtag diversity. Your goal is to garner as many likes as possible. However, what people don't know is that that candid picture on an island wasn't so candid. You made your friend take that picture 50 times until you got the one you wanted. Keep your finger on burst, you said, as you twisted and turned your body to try to capture that perfect shot. Then you spent a half hour figuring out which filter to use and coming up with a caption. And after you posted it, you refreshed your phone every few minutes to see how many likes you were getting. The Finstagram, however, is your behind-the-scenes actions. It's typically private with follower counts in the single digits. You can post as many times a day, no filters needed. You just post about like what's going on. Studying for a test, hashtag need coffee. I'm sad, so I just ate a pint of half-baked. Someone make me go to the gym. My face when so-and-so posts about how great her boyfriend is again. Hashtag ugh. Here's an example. One picture is a picture of me studying for my genetics final for my junior year. The selfie lighting in the library was great that day, and I had miraculously put on makeup and done my hair during finals week. I don't know what I was thinking. So I decided to snap a few pictures during a study break. The picture on the other side is from the last semester, the day before a biochem exam. This picture was taken at 3 a.m. My study partner and I had consumed almost a full pint of ice cream. We had no idea what kind of evil our professor was going to inflict upon us this time, and we were running around the basement of Roger Bacon in sweatpants and socks. Can you tell which picture I Instagrammed? I think this whole double life thing is crazy. Why are we comparing our behind-the-scenes lives with other people's highlight reels? The creation of these Finstagram accounts is exemplary of the fact that we are slowly starting to realize that social media is not a true way of communicating. The relationships we form via the internet are shallow and disingenuous. We create true bonds by listening to how people feel, and by sharing our emotions, and by truly connecting with the world around us. It was liberating the day I realized that 1 million likes on a picture will never be enough if you don't like yourself. So, Sienna family, let me pose a challenge to you. Next time you're walking down the quad or in the hallway and you see an acquaintance and say, "Hi, how are you?" and they say, "Good," stop and say, "No, really, how are you?" and listen. Because you need to be mindful about how you communicate. Sit down for tea like Ana Lucia and I do every night and just talk. Because life is meant to be shared. We need each other. Thank you.